Hey, happy hump day, everybody. How's it going today? Welcome, Joe. Welcome. Appreciate you being here.
Good morning.
And
Good morning.
listen, we got a lot of stuff to get through today, Joe. I mean, it's just crazy, all the stuff we got to talk about. Listen, everybody, you know the drill. Make sure you smash up that like button. You share this thing out. Appreciate that. We got a special guest we're going to bring on stage here shortly. But just to give everybody the shout out, Drunk on Crypto, first in the chat today. Appreciate you being here. I love it. I love it. And let's see, who am I missing? Jesse is in the house. Gandiji's in the house. Excellent. BC in the house. All right. Everybody's starting to pile in from Piper Academy. Listen, welcome to everybody from Piper Academy. Thank you for coming in and sharing things here. All right, let's bring on our special guest this morning. And you guys know this guy here. He is no stranger to this channel. I love this guy. Daniel, welcome. Appreciate you being here and taking time today to show up.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having me on again. It's always fun to come on with you guys.
Yeah, I appreciate you being here, man. Listen, I got Daniel here because one of the things that normally we would talk about at the end of the stream, we're moving up to the beginning of the stream, which is about Texas and the whole gold and silver legal tender thing. But Daniel has some information to share with us about that, so we're gonna talk to him. But you've all seen this. Those of you coming over from Piper Academy, Piper talked about this yesterday. So again, this is information that has been out there for a few days, which basically was the gold and silver now legal tender in Texas. But Daniel, it sounds like there might be some things we need to talk about with regard to that. So share with us, brother.
So yes, Florida and Texas passed a law to make gold and silver legal tender. However, what Florida did was, and I've been talking about this on a lot of my interviews, is Florida added a provision that essentially made nothing legal tender, even though that was the whole intent of the law. So I know we're talking about Texas, but it's important to talk about Florida because Texas took that provision from Florida and added it into their bill. So what did Florida do? So what Florida did was they set a purity threshold for gold and silver. That purity threshold was 995 purity for gold to be legal tender and 999 purity for silver to be legal tender. Then they added last minute, without talking to us or any of the stakeholders, the drafters of the bill added a provision that effectively made nothing legal tender. And the language they initially used, that to be qualified as legal tender as gold coin, silver coin, the gold coin, silver coin cannot have any marks except for the weight and purity on it. Well, if you know anything about gold and silver, every product has more than just the weight and purity, whether it's most likely the mint mark. So then we brought this up to their attention, and they came back with an addition to that provision, and they added a mint mark, which seems good on the surface, but then later on in that same provision, that subsection, it says to qualify, it can't have anything but a mint mark, weight, and purity, which is fine. That makes bars legal tender, but then it says no other information or designs. Well, serial numbers are other information, and it's explicit, and so that means nothing again because all bars have serial numbers. So for some reason, when the Texas bill got over to the House, to the Senate, they must have heard Florida had good legislation or something, and they took that provision and added it into Texas, effectively making nothing legal tender in Texas as well. Now, for Florida, that's not an issue. Our law doesn't go into effect until July 1st of next year. So we have all of this year to fix it. So it's not that big of a deal in Florida. However, in Texas, it's kind of a big deal because Texas only meets every 2 years. So unless the governor is willing to have a special session to change their law, they effectively have done nothing except authorize the depository to create an electronic system for gold and silver, with gold and silver not being legal tender in the state. So it effectively has done nothing because you can operate Glint right now. What it did, it authorized the depository to contract with vendors to choose companies like Glint or Kinesis or any of the UPMA Alpine Gold to operate their electronic systems in the state if they choose to. But beyond authorizing the depository, effectively did nothing until they could fix that provision.
Wow. That's, I don't know. You just blew my mind with that there, Daniel. Oh my goodness. I mean, like, after all that work, it's like, wow, what the hell happened with it?
The two people in Florida, the two people who actually penned the paperwork, the law, put that provision in there out of left field. We met with them from December through like the end of session, and out of the blue, the third to last iteration of the bill, which was coming to a tight deadline in the House, they put that provision, sent it over to the House. We They've changed it in the Senate, and that the House HB 999 is actually SB 132. They replaced the original HB 999 with the Senate version. So the version that got passed was just a modified version of SB 132 with that provision. And nobody, Economic War Room, us, the Christian Family Coalition, all the stakeholders, Kinesis, they brought that up at the last minute. So I understand their intent. They wanted to prevent like counterfeiting, and their number one concern was people like melting their gold and silver in their backyard and stamping legal tender in Florida or from the state of Florida because they were concerned about constitutional questions. But because they didn't understand the industry and they don't understand the products, they inadvertently made nothing legal tender, which completely wasted a lot of time. Now, the good thing in Florida is it created a regulatory framework. We have that all there. We're working with the Office of Financial Regulations, Department of Financial Services, to create the regulatory rules for the electronic transfer system to operate in the state. They also authorized governments in the state of Florida, from municipal all the way up to the state, and also public universities, if they open up an account with a qualified public depository, which essentially is a bank or a credit union that accepts electronic gold and silver, they can start accepting electronic gold and silver for taxes, debts, and dues. But it's not legal tender, so it's interesting. It's a problem we're going to fix in Florida. Lord willing, I don't see why not. Everybody's on board 100%. We got unanimous consent from both chambers, and the governor signed into law. In Texas, it just, unfortunately, they meet every other year. So for 2 years, they have like an unfunded mandate. They have a legal tender unfunded mandate, which doesn't do anything.
I'll tell you what, that's, I don't know. One, that would really kind of like, if I was in your shoes, I'd be like, what did you just do? I'd be so depressed.
I was.
Oh, man.
It was very, very frustrating. And we did get pushback from them and everything, but it is what it is, It's it's part of the game. Like I always say, there's two things you don't want to learn how are made, and it's sausage and legislation.
Legislation, yeah, facts, man, facts. Now, first off, Daniel's time here is a little bit limited today. He's heading off to another interview right after this. So if you have any questions for him with regard to Texas, Florida, whatever, make sure you put them in the chat. We'll ask him before he heads out of here because, again, he's got to head out pretty soon. But now, Daniel, I asked this question based on the latest iteration of the Genius Act going through right now in Congress, which basically says that gives the federal government final say on what a stable coin looks like. Doesn't matter what the states say. So my thought or question is, could it be some kind of form of that kind of pushing down on the states that are putting out this legal tender legislation with regard to gold and silver? Do you think there's that kind of pressure?
No, I think the Trump administration is looking at the macroeconomic issues where most countries aren't buying our treasuries anymore, and the fact that the service our debt, there's not enough buyers. What we're doing right now is the Federal Reserve is buying up most of our debt, so we're owing our Federal Reserve the debt to the Federal Reserve. And I mean, it just keeps racking up and racking up and racking up. So what they're looking for is new avenues to sell debt, and by forcing stable coins to buy 93-day treasuries, to be considered qualified in the United States, then that's a new avenue. That's where they were talking about there. That's potentially $2 trillion of new purchases and debt. My concern with the Genius Act is now we're bypassing the banks and we're basically pumping inflation directly into these stable coins. And
Yes.
they're not legal tender, but they're acting as a negotiable instrument for legal tender, which de facto makes stablecoins legal tender, and that effectively makes a bunch of privately owned CBDCs. You know, so
Yes. Thank you.
so
I'm glad it's not just me. Okay. Thank
no,
you.
no, and I can't really share what I've been told because of privacy, but
Yes.
keep an eye on the banking sector over the next 30 to 60 30 to 60 days. There's going to be a lot of changes in preparation for the stable coins being issued. It's actually quite concerning, the information I've been learning from reputable sources. And if there's any reason to pass gold and silver legislation, it's this. Trump promised not to pass a single CBDC, right? I
Yep.
think in his mind, he's thinking the Federal Reserve issuing it. I think in his brain, if private sector does it, it's not the same. But to us, it is, because the government, if the government now has treasuries, they have a connection to all the private companies, and they can effectively threaten to turn off their qualification or whatever. And then if they don't reveal transactions with certain people, so I'm concerned about the Genius Act. In fact,
Not
I'm
alone.
concerned about the big beautiful bill too. Very
Yep.
non-libertarian. It's a bloat. Um, but look, also put yourself in the president's shoes. I just got some information that makes me understand a little bit more. But he's the president of the United States with all the information, and he's doing things for a reason. I think there's a plan in play. Um, I don't. I've always complained that the president doesn't understand sound money economics, even though he has Bissett, who's a big gold guy. But the modern world, they're looking at liquidity for decades, since John Maynard Keynes and Keynesian
Yep.
economics. It's all about aggregate demand and flow of currency and all that. And it's hard to break that when the entire global monetary system, all the banks, all the credit card companies, everything is so tied into the current financial system. And they're upgrading it. They're upgrading it with blockchain technology and rails that are instantaneous. The world has it already. They're just waiting to roll it out publicly.
Right.
So it's kind of concerning, and I think that's more of a reason why our mission is so important, because um, the U.S. is issuing private CBDCs and the government's connected, and we need to have the states through and only because we have the Constitution can the states do this, make gold and
Right.
silver legal tender and give people the option to opt out of the federal system, especially if these stable coins are going to be acting as a CBDC where they can control us or whatever. So I'm not worried about it under the Trump administration, but uh, with the tariffs starting to impact job losses, things are going to get a lot worse. People are getting laid off. Heck, we just put up an application yesterday, and we had over 161 applicants in a few hours. A few hours, people are getting laid off. Jenny, you guys know Jennifer.
Yes.
She told me that they're laying off people at like 9,000 people at Microsoft, and
Yes.
That's the second round.
the second time they did that. So they're laying off people left and right. Also, a major part of that is AI. Dude, we're at C4SM, we're looking at developing a super agent to help us run. Yes, Trump is Keynesian. As far as I can tell. I mean, he's always used debt to get rich. But
Yep. Yep.
oh shoot, I lost my train of thought when I saw that comment.
Sorry. You were talking about the layoffs.
Yeah. So the economy is going to get worse. Tariffs are starting to impact people. Inflation is going to get worse. Things are going to get bad, and I don't know if we can recover in time, like Argentina. Argentina recovered because we cut debt, we cut spending, we fired bureaucracies. We started doing that with Doge, and then we stopped. Right. So like, I don't see the recovery the way that it happened in Argentina. That was the playbook, and we've kind of thrown it in the trash. And now we're going back to spending more and selling debt and trying to get us out. Now, granted, I think what Trump is thinking is he's really big on trade, and he's doing a lot of big deals, bringing manufacturing and business into the United States.
Gonna try and grow his way.
Right, and it's going to hurt. Like I wrote an article months ago, like I think in December or January, about the impact. Every time there's a trade war or there's increase in tariffs, there's always a financial collapse. There's a major inflation. It takes time for that to catch up. Those tariffs are now getting into the system. It's trickling down from the importers to the consumers, and we're in AI technology, man. Let me tell you. If you're listening, you guys need to start learning about AI technology and using it to improve every aspect of your life, whether it's trading, whether it's day-to-day operations, marketing. Dude, super agents can do everything a human can do. They're autonomous. You can set up an entire shell company, and every director could be a super agent, and it'll run an entire business model. And you just filter in, like, AI is going to get rid of a lot of jobs that are not manual and labor. And then they're coming out with robots too. Dude, like we're living in a time where we are seeing a turning of the old world. AI is going to change us, and this is what people are going to read in history books, like when we read electricity with Edison and light bulb and the steam engine and all that, like these major events in human history that advanced us. We're living in that time, and we are right there. And if you want to like be extremely have a high how do you say want to get hired basically and have the skills. If you want a skill, learning AI skill, you need to know AI to improve. So
learn how to operate AI. BC's all over it right here. Yeah, facts.
Right.
Facts. It's integrating into every aspect. Aspect. I don't care where you are. You're absolutely right.
And it's affecting the older generations more, and like the older, like not millennials, Gen Xers, the baby boomers. Dude, they've tried to avoid technology, and there's ageism too. So there's all these things working against the older generations with this new turning of AI taking over everything, man. So it's a lot going on. And you know, Florida and Texas, they need to fix their laws because they really need to give an opportunity for the people to use something as legal tender. You know, we're working to try to get rid of capital gains at the federal level, and that'll really make gold and silver money, because that's the biggest friction right now, to use gold and silver as money. But that's still a work in progress.
Right. Listen, I know your time is getting scarce here. I like to, only because we kind of touched on it a little bit. This was something I was going to bring up a little later in the show. But what do you think? I think this is part of what you were saying with regard to trying to do that whole private sector thing right here. And again, for those who are coming from Piper Academy, this is not new information about Circle looking to be a bank, get chartered and all that kind of stuff. Anything you want to add to this with regard to what you were saying, Daniel?
I told you, within the next 30 to 60 days, there's going to be shakeups in the banking sector. So
okay, you heard it here first, folks. Heard it here first, literally. Oh, Daniel, man, I really appreciate you being here. I do. And again, thank you for taking time out of your day. Anything you want to pass on to everybody before you head out? Because I know you got another interview right backed up to this.
Yeah. So if you want to support our mission, if you want to support our what we're doing and accomplishing, not just in the United States but across the world, bringing sound money legislation and what I call economic freedom to all people, go to our website, citizens4soundmoney.org. Citizens4soundmoney.org. Donate. Go to become a member. I think we just added a form where you don't have to necessarily join. You can just donate. And don't donate to our cause, because it's not free, it's not cheap to do what we're doing, right. And we're doing this for you. We're doing this for the people so that they have an option to use something that isn't controlled by the government and isn't stealing your economic energy. So gold and silver has been money for millennia. It should never have been demonetized and taught to be only a commodity and investment. and we're trying to change that through our education foundation, and we're trying to change it through passing laws.
And you guys do an amazing job with that, and you are fighting an uphill battle, like huge.
Yeah. There's a lot of special interests that are, put it that way. There are a lot of special interests.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Listen, I appreciate your time, and I know you and I have been talking on the backside of things here, but don't forget Friday night. Hopefully, you'll be able to be there.
I'm
got a good crypto on the rocks this week. So
I'm pretty sure I can do it. It's July 4th, so I think we might already be drunk by the time we get on there.
Even better.
Even better. That's going to be a hell of a show. So yeah.
Oh, it's going to be a 13-minute live stream.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, guys.
All right. All right, Daniel, again, thank you. I really appreciate it. Say hi to Jen, and we will hopefully see you Friday.
All right. Sounds good, guys. See you then.
All right. Take care.
Later. Bye.
Man, I appreciate him being here. He is, a great friend to this channel. He puts out a lot of great information. Citizens for Sound Money doing a lot of work, man. Lots of work out there. And definitely appreciate him taking time out of his day to do that. I know we haven't caught up with the chat, and we got a lot of people here. I appreciate everybody being here. As always, make sure you're smashing up that like button. You know the drill. Share this thing out. I saw some people mentioning in the chat that they're sharing this thing out. Sorry, even with him talking, I haven't been able to keep up with the chat. So I apologize for that. But I appreciate everybody being here, and thank you again for everybody that shared this thing out and everything. All right, Joe. You know what? Let's get to what I have on the docket here, because here we go. We're 40 minutes away from your stream, and everybody that's here. If you are on YouTube, right after we're done here, we're going to be sending you directly over to Joe's stream. Joe's going live at noontime. He'll leave here a little bit sooner because the poor guy, every time he comes here, he has to restart his computer in order to do his own live stream. So I appreciate you, Joe. I appreciate it, man. But we're gonna do that. But Joe, what do you say? How about we'll talk a couple of Bitcoin things, and then we'll let you get to the chart.
Sounds good to me.
All right, here we go. So the first thing, and again, not all necessarily super new information, but Bitcoin surpassed Google to become the 6th largest asset in the world. I like seeing stuff like that. I mean, things are just growing, and that's a beautiful thing. And then we got this again. For those who know, we just closed out the month. We're here. What is it? The 2nd of July right now. And here we go. It's official. Bitcoin sets a new all-time high on monthly closing at 107,173. Again, huge news. And I don't know, Joe. I think the market is looking a little up today. I saw a little bit of green earlier. I say we just kind of keep charging along, and we'll bring up your chart, and we'll let you go with it. How's that sound?
Sounds good to me.
All right, man. You got the show.
All right. So this is the kind of like the bad scenario, where we always want to look at the plus and the minus, the ups and the downs, what might happen up or down. So here, of course, we did have this run up, kind of roll over, so it created a top. Here we have a run up, starting possible a rollover, and if it does, well, first thing we need to do is for it to break this level. So, and this is why we always trade level by level, because if it breaks this level, then the next level we're looking for it to break is this level. Then the next level to break is this level, and so on and so forth. So the more level it breaks, the more confirmation we have to where this is potentially another top. So we have a top, another top. You can call it a double top, or it is a higher high. But what we're looking for is, where is it going to bounce from? Now this again is if the price pulls back. Let's go to the weekly. And that way we just see less of the all the pivots. We can kind of see like a better picture. Now, if we do go up from here, again, there's always, ups and downs. But when we came up here, we had a very small retrace. For me personally, I like seeing at least a 50% retrace, maybe 61%. And of course, that you can just do with the fib retracement tool. You go from the absolute low to the high, make sure the magnet tool is on. It did come down to about the 32 level, 38.2 level. I like to see it go down to the 0.5, no more than the 618 for it to potentially bounce. But this is what we might see, where we might see it come down to this level, 0.5, right around 93.3, before potentially coming up. Now, the resistance levels, this is more of a zone that I'm looking at, are these gray, not gray, but these orange lines. As far as, what is it going to do right now? Of course, we are kind of bullish, but we still have this resistance here. So for me personally, I'm not getting too overly confident on Bitcoin until we not only go into this area, but remain above this area. And this area right now is about 112. So creating another all-time high, but it would have to break above 112 and remain above it in order for me to be bullish. Could we be, go into longs from here to here? Sure. But since this is also resistance, since the price is underneath it, price could come up to it. Everybody gets super bullish. Everybody gets into longs, gets rejected, and then we see something like this. So you just have to be really careful. And then we see something like this, and then now it starts going sideways again, doing another just chop zone, and then now people are just getting wrecked again, and then potentially dropping. So once again, right now, in my opinion, when it's coming to Bitcoin or these coins, we just got to be careful. You sit on your hands. There's nothing wrong with sitting on your hands. Can you make money going up or down? Sure. Is your mentor probably making a crap load of money, saying that he's getting all these amazing trades? Sure. The question is, how many charts they posting? That's what you really have to ask. Right now, it's very dangerous. Better not to be in a trade, in my opinion. I think we're in a trade. We're in a short right now. I don't even know if we're still in it. I haven't really checked it. Let's see here. 1 second. Oh, we're still in it. Even though the prices come up, we're still in the short. Just because we got it at a pretty good price. But right now, just be careful, because people might see this and hey, it's going to the moon. You have so many levels of resistance. It's ridiculous. So if it was down here and starting to come up, well, then that's something different. But we're way up here. So that's what I got.
Well, yeah, it likes tapping those new all-time highs, but it doesn't like staying there. Yeah,
Right.
I mean, it's the bottom line, in my opinion, of course, not financial advice. Joe,
nothing I say is financial advice.
Yeah.
Right now, when it comes to Bitcoin, they're just I'm done. But right now, when it comes to Bitcoin, like the game for the market makers right now, it just liquidate people. And again, if you don't have to be in a trade, don't be in a trade. Just wait. And if you have that itch, and I do, I love trading. Trade with a few dollars. Just trade with a few dollars. Nothing wrong with a $5 trade or a $1 trade. Just trade with a few dollars. See if you win. And then if you do, don't kick yourself in the butt and say, "Oh man, instead of having $5, I should have had 200 or 500 or 1,000." No, it's just trading. Just keeping your skills sharp. And right now, man, like it's a test. It's a really big test. Just because it's chop. You think it's going to go one way, it goes the other. So be careful, guys.
Bam. Yep, bam. Well, I appreciate it. And like I told everybody a little while ago, don't forget, right after this stream, we're going directly. You'll be automatically, if you're on YouTube, you'll be automatically redirected over to Joe's stream in about a half an hour now. We're clipping along here. We're going to try and get through everything before we head over. And listen, I just want to say thank you to everybody on X. We've got like 50 people on X. Appreciate you being here. X has been just growing and growing. Appreciate it. But again, I can't forward from X. So if you want to get forwarded automatically over to Joe's live stream, you got to come on over to YouTube. And when you get here, smash up the like, you know the drill. And we'll go from there. All right, let's clip along with some more news type stuff. And let's see here. So start with this. Kraken. Everybody knows Kraken, right? US-based cryptocurrency exchange secures a MiCA license in Ireland. Again, I don't know if we have anybody here from Ireland or the EU area, but definitely big news as you know these cryptocurrency exchanges trying to expand their proverbial wings and their reach and their footprint around the globe, basically. But we're going to keep going. So that's it in the kind of international realm here. I did want to make sure that we touched on this. The House passed the Deploying American Blockchains Act of 2025, and it's headed off to the Senate, obviously. And here they highlight there's a lot of things in this act, and again, where we had Daniel on earlier, we're not going to dive too deep into it, but they do point out here that the bill directs the Secretary of Commerce to promote blockchain tech in the U.S. And, you know, that's been kind of like a staple of the Trump administration and what's going on, wanting, for example, U.S.-based cryptocurrencies, U.S.-based this, U.S.-based that. And so to continue along with that, we have U.S.-based blockchain type companies. But for everything that's positive, there's also something negative. And here we go right here. The IRS, just when you think they're out, they come right back in. And the IRS basically 758% surge in warning letters to cryptocurrency investors. Now, I'm sorry, pay your taxes. That's all I can say. You know, it's not like we're promoting anything other than that here. But this seems like a huge surge. But it's like anything else. I'm guessing they're just looking to bring in more revenue right now because we are back up. Well, not back up. We are up over $37 trillion in debt. And I know Joe and I didn't go over that on Monday. And thank you to everybody who showed up on Monday. By the way, I honestly probably should have said that in the beginning. We had technical difficulties. Obviously, it's fixed, as you can see. It was a StreamYard issue, and I love StreamYard. Honestly, I've had very few issues with StreamYard overall, given the amount of live streams that we do. But yeah, it was definitely a them issue. They fixed it probably within, I don't know, 16 hours of it happening. But that didn't help me because I missed 2 live streams that day. But there you go. There it is. Anyway, thank you for everybody who was here on Monday and who comes back and shows the support. I really appreciate it. Joe, anything you want to put in about the IRS? I know I kind of pulled it off the screen there, but anything you want to throw in about that? Any thoughts, comments?
Yeah, just that I don't like them. That's it.
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough, man. All right, let's keep going here. We got, again, about 25 minutes. We're going to be heading over to Joe's live stream. So, again, come on over to YouTube. We'll send you right over there. All right. And then now this is something that Joe and I reported on, I don't know, a week and a half ago, that a bill passed in Connecticut to basically ban a Bitcoin strategic reserve in the state. So the state can never create one. The governor finally signed that into law. And so there it is. Boom. There it is. I think this is going to go down, and it, as you can see here, took effect July 1st, so yesterday, and prohibits the state from accepting, holding, or investing in cryptocurrency. I think this is going to go down as one of the biggest mistakes of all time, but given it's Connecticut, that doesn't surprise me. Again, don't know if I got anybody here from Connecticut, but
like, do they not own a TV where they can see any news? Like Bitcoin and crypto is on the news all the time now. Do they not own any? It's like, oh, what's this crypto thing? No, we're gonna ban it. No.
Yep. I don't know. I don't have any idea. head out. I hope you have a good dinner, Jesse. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being moderating the chat and everything. Appreciate it. I love BC. He's always got something. Is Connecticut a real place? Sadly, yes. Just go. Yeah. I got nothing. I got nothing. It is a real place, and they got a couple of casinos there. I mean, feel free. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, all right. Sorry, that caught me. I like it. Appreciate it. All right, let's keep moving on here. Now, Joe, you and I have talked a few times about different things. We showed the attempted abduction in Paris of the daughter of a crypto exchange owner and their family, and we've seen and reported on numerous different wrench type attacks, or that's what they're called, wrench attacks, with regard to people who are otherwise visible in the cryptocurrency space. Well, here we go. Here's another one. And I just wanted to, I guess I kind of wanted to make sure that this stuff that's happening now, this is in Bali, but the fact that it's still happening all over the place. Matter of fact, that other one was in Paris. And but we've had some here even in the US. So I want to keep it, I guess, front and center on everybody's plate. So right here, Jameson Lopp, again, if you're not following him, you should. Bitcoin Maxi for sure. And but he follows this stuff and reports on this stuff consistently and has been doing so for years. He says here, Bali police, and he wrote about this. So if you go, all the links are in the description. Click on that. You'll be able to go ahead and follow your way through and read that for yourself. But basically, the long and short, Bali police are preparing to issue an Interpol red notice. Okay, so there you go. For a foreign national accused of violently robbing a Ukrainian citizen, and they put his name out here, which that doesn't help either, and forcing him to transfer $200,000 worth of USD cryptocurrency. So basically, cryptocurrency in a valuation of $200K. I don't know, Joe. I mean, I hope people are trying to like be smart about their security, and BC Port Corp, Bedell and I did an entire hot on the line with regard to that. If you go back to that, there are links to some spreadsheets that'll help to give you tips and suggestions to keep yourself safe online, increase your online privacy, and just basically staying safe in general, because again, this is the physical realm of things that all this stuff is kind of happening at this point. So yeah, Joe, if there's anything you want to add to that, man, other than that, I just kind of keep chugging along. You got to shut me up every once in a while.
Yeah, no, just, don't, I mean, it's good that you have crypto, but don't be bragging about how much crypto you have. Oh, I sold 14 Bitcoins today, and I plan on buying 22 in the morning. And like, nobody needs to know that. Just, I bought some Bitcoin, I'm selling some Bitcoin. That's it. Like, we don't need to know the amount, because then we can do some math, some simple math, and we can know how much money you have. And if we happen to see you, and let's just say we're down and out because we can't even buy a pack of ramen to support our family, but we know you, there's a pretty good chance that, desperate times calls for desperate measures. And if you're over here bragging about how much you have, well, somebody might take it. So again, I have $14, and that's all I got. So
that's right. There you go. And Shubi created the plaque to prove it. Damn it. There it is. All right. So let's keep this thing going here. Now, again, something you probably have already heard about, Ledger. And now this is from an article that I put on my website. Matter of fact, if you don't visit my website, you should. I try to keep it up to date, although I'm not going to lie, I have very much kind of fallen short of doing that. But I did put this because I thought it was something that was certainly worth everybody understanding and knowing about, because a lot of people have purchased and still utilize Ledger devices. In this case, it happens to be Ledger Nano S. They're sunsetting that. They're basically going to discontinue support for that. So again, link in the description. Go ahead and check it out. And our website right there. There you go, cryptocoinmindset.com. But basically, the long and short of this is they're no longer going to be supporting the Ledger Nano S. It basically has memory shortages that are not allowing it to be useful with security upgrades, adding in new blockchains. You know how it goes. I mean, these blockchains are just constantly developing, and technology develops and increases all the time. This is something that is or shouldn't be foreign to anybody here right now, with regard to the fact that, I mean, you got a cell phone, it upgrades all the time. You know, hell, your appliances these days, your smart appliances, your whatever, everything needs upgrades these days. So this is something that is certainly not beyond the realm of what we see and operate with regard to technology on any given day. But keeping with Ledger, I saw this and I was like, are you kidding? So you can go to Best Buy now and find a Ledger kiosk in bed, and it's not even crypto on the rocks. So there we go. Holy crap. You go into Best Buy and buy a Ledger device. Now, I don't know. I don't promote Ledger anymore. I'm not a fan since their Recover service. And if you want to know more about that, go ahead to my website. I wrote all about that. Or on the YouTube channel, actually broke down an entire video talking about that with, not me with, but a video of Jameson Lopp, who we just saw talking about the Bali incident, and Andreas Antonopoulos talking about the whole Ledger Recover issue. And then I, of course, put in my 2 cents. Nobody cares about my 2 cents, right? But anyway, but if you're looking to get a Ledger device, you can go into Best Buy now and or select Best Buys currently. But I'm sure if they have some success with selling these things, it's going to just be spreading to all the Best Buys. I mean, I don't know, Joe. Oh.
So for me, when it comes to security, I personally would not recommend buying a Ledger from Amazon, a reseller, Best Buy, anything like that, because what people can do is they can get that Ledger, install a device to where it's like a keylogger or whatever it is, repackage it, and then return it to the store. It's like, oh, I bought this for my son's birthday, but he already has one. And then return it to the store, and then now they put it back on, and then you could potentially lose all of your money. So if you do get any kind of Ledger or any kind of wallet or anything, always get it from the actual manufacturer. That's just my opinion, but I'm always like extra safe. For me, when I bought my Ledger, I actually bought it on Amazon because it was $10 cheaper than the actual site. But you know, throughout the years, just learning about security and everything is like, man. So now I recommend everybody just go to their site.
Yep. And I mean, that's solid advice right there, to be completely honest. And something anybody that asks, that's what I tell them. And I say that completely knowing that Friday night, I'm going to be giving away a hardware wallet. So, but it is that this kiosk thing is not anything new. Even Tangem is doing stuff like that on resellers and so on and so forth, allowing for stuff. And you guys know I promote Tangem. I love Tangem. But you got to decide what level you want to do. And I don't blame anybody for doing exactly what Joe just said right there, and go straight to the source. To this day, that's exactly what I do. I just bought another Tangem wallet. Because we're into a new DCA portfolio on Crypto on the Rock. So I need a new Tangent wallet to put all that other stuff in. So
matter of fact,
go ahead, Joe, man. Go.
Matter of fact, the reason that I learned about that is because on my other channel, I had bought 20. It was a lot of money. I bought 20. I forget what kind of wallets they were, but they were really cool. and I don't know if it was from Ledger or from Treasure. I don't know, remember which one it was, but I had about 20 of them, and I was going to be giving them out as just, you know, participation or whatever. And then that's when one of my viewers said, you know, it's really dangerous you doing that because, well, you know, you could install something or somebody could install it. And then I was like, oh man, I didn't even think about that. So I ended up just returning them all. And I bought them from Amazon too. I just returned them all. I was like, nope, I'm not going to do it. So
yeah, and the for FYI, the wallet, that hardware wallet I'm going to be giving away this Friday is from Bali. In fact, if I can reach it, it's over here. Oh, as I destroy everything in the process. A Bali wallet. Can you see that? There we go. Still in the packaging. You can see it's still there. And I, again, on purpose, it came straight from them. It was gifted to do a giveaway. So that's again.
And what is that again?
Ballet wallet, BALLET.
So it's a coin.
Kind of, yes, in the shape. You can kind of see it right there.
So it's a coin that has the scannable thing on the back, so you can log into it or something.
Yes. There's a companion app, and there's
that's cool.
Yeah, a guide so you can scan it and go ahead to that.
I like it.
Anyway, so I'm getting way off track here. Sorry, everybody. Appreciate it. And again, listen, we're about 10 minutes out of going to Joe's stream. If you're on YouTube, we're going to head straight over there. You'll automatically be forwarded. If you are on X, and man, do we got a lot of people on X, 60 people sitting on X right now. Appreciate you being here. X has been growing, great support. Appreciate all of you for being here. But the stream's just going to end, and I can't forward you from X. So if you want to go straight over to Joe's stream, come on over to YouTube, and we'll send you there. I got a couple more items I want to talk about. Joe, are you needing to go, or are you good? I don't want to try.
About 5 more minutes. I need 5 more minutes.
Okay. All right. Very good. So let's bring up this next piece right here. I thought this was kind of cool. I mean, again, keeps crypto in the spotlight to some degree. Coinbase named one of Time Magazine's 100, again, not even crypto on the rocks, 100 most influential companies of 2025. Now, again, when I was younger, Time Magazine used to be like, bam, that was like the thing, man. You know, everybody wanted to be on Time Magazine. I don't know how true that is these days. I might just be showing my age right there, but I thought it was kind of cool to see Coinbase being in that position right there. So, Joe, anything you want to add with regard to that? What do you think about that? I don't know. I thought that was pretty damn cool here. Let's see. I'm just double checking any. All set in the house. Appreciate you being here, man. Appreciate it. And there's yeah, I'll touch on that one at the end when Joe goes. All right, so here's the last one, or last news item I had on the agenda for today, and it's got a quick interview. And don't just move off because you see Kramer in there. But basically, SoFi Bank, for those who have not heard, if you're on X, you probably have. SoFi Bank is basically launching an international payment system, and they're going to be using Bitcoin to do the conversion from USD to whatever the foreign currency is in the international transaction. So I'm going to play this real quick, and then we can hash this out. If I can hit the button.
First, we're a digital-only company, so we need to use technology to provide all of these services to you. We want you to have the ability to pay anybody, anywhere, any way that you want. And so one of the products we're launching, international payments, will allow you to use US dollars to pay someone in a foreign country in their local fiat currency. That dollar will be transferred into Bitcoin, transmitted over the blockchain, and then at the destination converted back into fiat currency. Today, the remittance market or international market is close to $100 billion from the US. We think we can provide a service that's faster, cheaper, more accessible, and most importantly, very secure. In addition to that, we know our members want to invest in cryptocurrency. We just offered a product, but we didn't take past as the future. So we went out and asked our members, and 60% of our members would like to have cryptocurrency offered from someone like SoFi as a nationally licensed bank. And that is a big change. In the past, banks couldn't offer buying and selling cryptocurrency, but they can now. And so our bank license is now useful, not just to take deposits that are insured and lend them, but to actually provide a very safe and reliable way to buy and sell cryptocurrency.
All right, and there's that. Let me just get rid of that completely. I don't know. Again, it kind of plays along with the circle thing, if you ask me, a little bit, and what you got going with Custodia Bank and so on and so forth. I don't know. Bottom line is, I like the fact that they're using Bitcoin, doing the transmission. He's right; it does make it secure. I mean, the Bitcoin blockchain is definitely secure. So, Joe, anything you want to throw out with regard to that? What do you think about that whole move with SoFi?
I mean, it's good because it's dealing with Bitcoin, but you know, you can use Litecoin, you can use any kind of to do transfers and faster and cheaper and everything else. But just, you know, having Bitcoin in the news is a good thing. So I'm liking it. Yep.
No, facts. I think it's just the way things are moving. I'm not going to lie, though. I'm really kind of concerned after Daniel being here this morning saying, watch the next few weeks, we're going on with the banking industry. That actually...
I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm scared. You know, I'm really, like, I'm trying to think of another word that's scared, but it's very... There's a lot of uncertainty. You know,
uncertainty is a good word. Yep.
Yeah, because, you know, when it's coming to, you know, any kind of conflicts that we may have, any kind of tariffs that we may have, any kind of, you know, repercussions from the government doing all their spending to where we are actually suffering from it, you know, inflation, and we are the ones who are suffering from government spending. And then, you know, the banks, and then like now the interest rates, and now you can't afford any food or housing, and you need to get a loan, but now the loan's going to be way too expensive. Like, I don't know, man. I'm just saying, you know, pack up on that ammo because it's going to be desperate times. And I don't want to sound like a prepper or somebody who's that, but I mean, if you just look at it, I mean, there's so many things that's going on right now, and I don't know. And maybe this is the, you know, because how they always say that there's like a financial collapse or what have you.
Yeah.
Maybe like we're getting really, really close to it, because, man, I mean, we try to dig our way out of the hole, and that dirt just coming right back in. So,
yep.
I don't know.
And I love what all says here, but it's like, how can you not be even just a little bit, you know, in the way of anxious if you pay attention to what's going on, if you are, you know, if you understand, if
you're already feeling it, and it's just going to get worse. If you're not feeling it, you know, you have a good job, you got money coming in, you have multiple streams of income, you know, you know, something bad's happening. Okay, well, that's okay. You know, I have money saved up. I have food in the fridge. I'm okay. You know, we're going to be all right, guys. We're going to be all right. But I mean, if you're like already suffering, and like your kids aren't able to eat nutritional meals, and you can't even buy them clothes because you have to go to your family to see what kind of clothes they can get, and like they're already suffering, and then it hits even harder. It's like, how much more suffering do I got to do? You know, get me out of this desert. You know, for those of you who do the Bible, you know what I'm referring to. But yeah, it's like, come on, please. Like, I can't take it. But yeah, so the people who are already hurting, it's just going to affect them more. People who aren't hurting, it's like, okay, so, you know, we didn't get, you know, to put so much money in our retirement fund this month, maybe next month. And the other one's like, man, I didn't eat again today. So
No, I agree. There's going to be a big chasm between the haves and have-nots if this thing goes the way people think it might go. Absolutely, absolutely. I'm with you, Joe. I hear you. And listen, to that end, it makes sense. I mean, one, learn, understand, obviously, and try your best. All you can do is try your best to prep yourself in all aspects, you know, to try to have those multiple streams that like Joe was talking about, and you know, more sound money. Don't be just sitting here with a wheelbarrow load of US dollars and so on and so forth. Have some Bitcoin, have some gold, have some silver, have whatever, you know. It makes sense to do that. So yes, Joe, I'm with you. It's the bottom line, brother. I feel what you're saying. Listen, guys, about 3 minutes. We're heading over to Joe's stream. Joe, are you going to head out and go and go get your restart your computer at this point?
Yes. So I'm gonna go restart my computer. I do thank you guys very much. If you haven't already, you know, please smash the like. Please let people know about this channel. Please let people know what CCM Crypto Coin Mindset is doing for the crypto space. Like, there's so many bad people out there, and here, this guy's a good one. Like, he's trying to educate you, not just, you know, you, but maybe your parents or your grandparents, and also the new people coming in. He's got a whole bunch of people lined up that he's already interviewed, that he's continuing to interview, just to give you additional knowledge that, you know, you may not know. So this is extremely important. Like, we have to get the word out about, you know, CCM for one, and just crypto in general, to where it's not only for bad stuff. Like, you can use dollars for that. You can use fiat for that. Like,
Right.
we're showing you that crypto is the future. If you truly do want to change your life and your family's life and your generations to come, crypto's the way. And we're showing you how. Now, of course, on my channel, where that's where we're going to go to, I show you how to trade it. However, CCM and BC Port Corp, these guys are very smart, because what they are actually doing is they're investing. Investing, in my opinion, is so much less of a headache. Buying and selling, looking at this, looking at that. You just look at the overall picture. We're going to be talking about that on my show. But investing is the way to go, in my opinion. Trading, for me, is more fun. So
Yeah.
We'll be talking about that on my show. I do thank you guys very much. I'm going to be going over there. And definitely check out this, the biggest scam in history of mankind, Hidden Secrets of Money, episode 4. I have yet to watch any other episode. This one right here, man, when I saw this, I'm not gonna lie, I was in awe. I was literally disgusted, because the money system is literally set up to be a Ponzi. Literally, it didn't become a Ponzi. It was set up to be a Ponzi, in my opinion. Watch the video, see for yourself. All right, guys.
Absolutely.
I do thank you. We'll see you guys.
All right, Joe, we'll see you in a few minutes there, bud.
All
right, take care. And yeah, Joe's right, man. I had to watch this particular video 4 times in order to have it actually set in. It is it will blow your mind, is the bottom line. So all right, let's again, the question here, Drunk on Crypto had, how do you get to Joe's stream? You're on YouTube, so you can just sit tight, and when we're done here, you'll automatically be forwarded over to his stream. We got tons of people on X. Appreciate you being here. And Joe will also broadcast on X, but you're going to have to look for his stream there. I can't forward you from X. So that's how that goes. Crypto Princess in the house. Appreciate you being here. Thanks for stopping by and smashing up that like button. Appreciate that very much. And I want to bring this up, and then I'll give you a couple of housekeeping things, and then we're going to head on over to Joe's stream. Robin, thank you for being here, by the way, from the Gandhiji group. And you definitely should go check this out. I have not completely gone through the the white paper that they put together with regard to the update of this project. It was a project that I was, and actually still had been, invested in, basically an hourglass smart contract. It's been updated, as I understand it, to be ERC20 compliant. Again, I'm not trying to put out a whole bunch of information regarding this because I have not completed any updated research. However, I appreciate the fact that Robin has put this here, and I would suggest that anyone who is interested go ahead and check that out. And all right, so let's wrap this thing up, and we're going to head over to Joe's stream. So basically, as far as housekeeping is concerned here, Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, Crypto on the Rocks. Going to be doing a 4th of July celebration. Definitely bring your beer and or whatever your favorite beverage happens to be. We're going to be doing a giveaway. Hopefully Daniel will be able to join us. The main giveaway right now, as of this moment, the Bali wallet, hardware wallet. We're definitely going to be giving away a couple of books. Where are they? I got them here. Hang on. So right here, I'm going to be giving. Wait, wrong one. Let's do that. We're going to be giving these away. So make sure that you're here for that. And we're going to give away a little bit of CCM swag. I got Shuby ready to print up some hats, and I think I might do a coffee mug. So hang tight for that. All right. Hopefully I'll see you guys on Friday. And that's going to do it. We're going to head over to Joe's stream. Again, if you're on X, you're going to have to go find that for yourself. Thank you for all your support. Appreciate you being here. If you're on YouTube, just sit tight, and you're going to get forwarded right over. So thanks, and I will see you guys Friday night. Take care.